We were lied to. That's just a fact. We're completely lied to. Where's the £350 million a week that was meant to be going to the NHS rather than the EU?
10 years ago, Britain made a decision that reshaped its future forever. On June 23, 2016, the UK voted to leave the European Union. And a decade later, it still divides opinion. In 2016, 51.9% of voters chose to leave the EU, 48.1% voted to remain, and that vote ended more than 40 years of membership. Supporters promised Brexit would help Britain take back control of its borders, its laws, and its public spending, even promising a cheaper cost of living and famously more funding for the NHS. But the years that followed were anything but simple, and the divorce was messy. The UK spent years negotiating its exit from the EU. Businesses faced new trade barriers, and freedom of movement between Britain and the EU came to an end. Since Brexit, trade with Europe has become more complicated, labour shortages have hit some industries, and economic growth has lagged behind many of Britain's peers. UK goods exports have declined relative to other major economies since 2016, and economists at the Bank of England say the UK's economy has taken a 6% hit from the effects of Brexit. Obviously, there are global forces impacting the economy, like COVID-19, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the latest US-Israeli war in Iran, and inflation, which haven't helped. But some point out that if Brexit was delivered, it should have made the UK more resilient to these changes and shocks, not less. Supporters, however, argue Brexit restored sovereignty to allowing the UK to control immigration, negotiate independent trade deals, and remove itself from EU rules. Except, immigration has risen significantly since the referendum. Net migration hit a record high of almost 1 million in June 2023, with most of the arrivals being from outside the EU. This has since dropped sharply with the introduction of new policies. Pre-existing EU laws were converted into UK domestic law to maintain legal stability post-Brexit. When Labour came into power in 2024, Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer promised a reset of the relationship. The EU and the UK have forged closer ties, including on security and defence. But now that he's gone, what could happen next? According to a YouGov poll published earlier this month, 6 in 10 Brits think Brexit has been a failure. 57% of Britons believe the UK was wrong to vote to leave the EU, and 55% want to rejoin. And Gen Z, the generation of young Brits who were locked out of the 2016 EU referendum because of their age, now believe that Brexit has failed, with a majority demanding a fresh vote to rejoin the EU. Brexit didn't just impact Britain. It fueled debates about nationalism, migration, and globalization across Europe and beyond, becoming one of the most significant political events of the 21st century. 10 years on, how has Brexit affected you?